I will teach you to make this one today. Year of the Horse customized handmade bag. What happens when we get our materials? Follow us on the details map above. Here's a material breakdown. Let's check. Are our materials and hardware complete? We'll start making it after checking it's correct. Then this bag can be equipped with its own cloth. As for these two cloths, they are our official match for everyone. If everyone is in their own home, there are other patterns you prefer. Well, you can follow the size of our two cloths. You cut it out with scissors. After that, follow the tutorial. Just sew on your favorite fabric. What about the first step? We need to put our leather material with our fabrics. We fit it together. When it fits, it is divided into upper and lower. We can look at the pattern of the horse. You can see it. What about this horse? It's upright. This one is facing up. Then our burgundy material. There are holes here. If this position is in our direction above, what about paste it right? Then, this is the material package. There's a large piece of double-sided tape inside for everyone. Let's first paste the words of our double-sided tape on our material. Stick up our leather material first. What about when you post align our materials? What if it is slanted? It can be removed and repasted. And then we're going to paste our fabric on. What about our double-sided tape? It's white. Take this off. And then what? The part with a transparent membrane. Take a look. We just pasted the whole material. We're going to do it the same way. Put our piece of material. We stick it on. What's next? Let's sew the starting material for the bag. When sewing the handle material, what if we need to use it? It's this tampon. What about inside each handle material? We're going to sew the cotton strips in. Next, let's measure the line first. Quantity from the position of this corner to this location. We measure the fold line of the whole length. Prepare. times. 3 times. 4 times. Take scissors to disconnect the line. Next, thread the needle. Needle tip against wax thread. Wear a line in the middle. Elongate the thread. Pull the lock needle with the short thread. To continue threading the needle, the tip of the needle is pointed at the middle of the wax thread and elongate the thread. Pull the lock needle with the short thread. Let's center our tampon left and right. Align next. What about alignment? We start sewing at this position round the corner. First hole. Needle to needles in parallel. Pull the line. Next go to the second hole. The needle in the back goes through the front. The needle in the front goes through the back. The third hole continues. The needle in the back goes through the front. The needle in the front goes through the back. Double needle wearing is good. You can understand that two of the same hole are aimed at wearing. It's good like this. Two for the same hole. Then just sew it all the way to the back. So one hole and one hole seam will do, or we can do two more holes at once. What about two more holes? The needle and thread will be faster. That's how to go. The needle in front goes through the back. Don't pull the thread it through the next hole. Pull the line. Continue. Come, the needle in front goes through the back. Don't put it on from the next hole. Pull the line. Here we go. The needle in front goes through the back. Don't pull the thread it through the next hole. Pull the line. Sew all the way to our left. Keep sewing all the way to our left. Come, so we're going to move our needle back 2 or 3 times. End of stitch. What about after here? We take scissors and disconnect. Then the lighter went on. Fake thread. Then click again. Take a look. Our rider material is sewn. Next words. We took out this square hardware buckle. What if we buckle the square hardware throughout this? What about after the remaining ear is worn through? We put the words of this ear, fold it in half. We sew it in half like this. Well, what about measuring? Measure from this position to this position. We measure it 4 times the length and double the thread. 2 times. 3 times, 4 times. Then take scissors to disconnect the wire. You can take more. We have a lot of lines for everyone. Thread the needle tip into the middle of the pull thread. Elongate the thread. Pull the lock needle with the short thread. Thread the needle with the tip of the needle facing the middle of the pull thread. Elongate the thread. Pull the lock needle with the short thread. Needle. Pull the 2 needles together. Okay, then let's take a look here. After sewing, what is this pointed hole, right? Yes, it's our side. We start the needle or this hole at the end. And we sew it like this. Then we are right. The hole on the side, we put it through like this. Then the next hole, what are we wearing it into? Wear it here and left. Wear it to the left. Okay, let's move on to the next vacancy. Okay, let's move the needle and thread back. Our 3 stitches are the ends of the stitches. Take scissors to disconnect. Later, refill the thread. Okay, now we use the same method. Here, take the hardware from our side and we'll sew it on. After we sew the handles. Next we take out this ear boy. What do we say about this ear boy? Thread it into our square hardware buckle. Right. After folding in half, we sew it in this position. At this position, we can see the hole from the reverse side. Because of the front, we can't see the hole after cutting the cloth, but we see the hole on the reverse side. We sew it on. In this way, the whole hand can be sewn on. Ah, what about measuring the line? Measure this length. Okay, let's measure it at 4. Put the thread over the hole. Then measure out the whole length. Take the quadruple of it. Here is twice. 3 times, 4 times. Then we take scissors and disconnect the wire. Thread the needle tip into the middle of the wax thread. Elongate the thread. Pull the lock needle with the short thread. Thread the needle tip into the middle of the wax thread. Elongate the thread. Pull the lock needle with the short thread. Okay, let's start the needle. Pull the 2 needles together. Immediately blessed embroidery tote bag making tutorial good. Let's start the needle. Pull the 2 needles together. Okay, let's go to the second hole. The needle in the back goes through the second hole to the front. Then the front needle goes through the second hole. We wear it through. Go on to the third hole. Okay, let's sew along this hole like this. Circle and sew back to where we started the needle. Okay, after we get sew to the starting pin position, walk the needle and thread forward or backward 2 or 3 stitches. End of stitch. Come get scissors and disconnect. Lighter, refill the thread. We're going to do the same thing. Sew up the ears on our side too. Our side. Including our handle and ears, they are all sewn on. Here we go. We take out our other piece of material. Sew on the handle and ears of this piece of material as well. What about two pieces of material? Symmetrical. Exactly the same, so the stitching is exactly the same. Take a look at the front of our bag. And the back of our bags. It's also up. Here we go. We take out the base material of our bags. What about the bottom material? We compare it with our previous sew together with the later material. Let's measure the line first. Double the length of the measuring hole. 2×3×4x line. Then take scissors to disconnect the wire. Next, we are still double needle wearing. Threading needle tip against wax thread. Wear a line in the middle. Elongate the thread. Pull the lock needle with the short thread. Thread the needle tip into the middle of the pull thread. Elongate the thread. Pull the lock needle with the short thread. So let's start with the first hole. 2 needles in parallel. Pull the line. Next, go to the second hole. The needle in the back goes through the front. The needle in the front goes through the back. In this way, our second hole is sewn. Each hole is pierced by 2 needles. Next, go to the third hole. Here, the needle in the back goes through the front. The needle in the front goes through the back. Here we go. The needle in the back goes through the front. The needle in the front goes through the back. Come on, don't pull the thread after our needle passes through. Put it on from the next hole. Pull the line. Just go through 2 holes and pull the thread once, so the speed at which we walk the needle will be faster. Circle through. Then put it through the next hole. Oh wow! Come and pull it like this, so until the end of the hole on our left. Okay, what about after we get here? We sew to the end of the hole. Walk the needle and thread back to our 3 stitches. End of stitch. Okay, at the end of the stitch, we can also teach you how to hide the thread. How to hide the line. It's the needle that exposes the needle above us. After we put it into the inside of the bag. After wearing it inside the needle and thread, we go back. Just walk on top of the layer below. Come get scissors and disconnect. Later, refill the thread. After the bottom of the bag is sewn with our side material. Here we go. We wrap the bottom and sew it with our other piece of material. Okay, it's symmetrical on both sides, so the stitching is exactly the same on both sides. After the bottom of our bag is sewn on. This bag has a double bottom. So what if we need to pack the other one? Screw it up too. So in the material package, we're going to take out 4 screws. Okay, so here are 4 nuts. Maybe what you received is not a nut. It's this, like 1 or 2 dumbbells. But it has 4 nuts. What if the nut was originally tighter? We can use, for example, wrap a little cloth or wrap some paper. Hold it down and twist it. You can also unscrew it. This is not wanted. Just throw this away. Okay, 4 screws. 4 nuts. What's next? We got our piece of material. We sewed the whole bag. On the other hand, what about this material? It's reverse. It's reverse. Then we put it like this. And I'm going to screw it up with these little nuts. The screw is installed, and the nut is exposed outside. Ultimately, it's an effect of an anti-wear nail. Then twist on. After the head is screwed on the part, we'll tighten it up with our screwdriver next. Tighten. Okay, tighten it. Take a look at the double bottom and we'll screw it on. Because you must screw the bag up first. Because wait a minute, what is it? Wait a minute, we're going to sew this side. Are we going to sew this lining on? Wait a minute, after the linings are sewn on, this position cannot be operated. So, double bag bottom, we have to put it on first. After that, you can sew our lining cloth. Take a look at the side of the bag and sew it with the bottom. It looks very beautiful. What's next? We're going to take out the materials. This lining cloth is prepared for everyone in the bag. What about this cloth? Don't cut it in lengths and widths. Don't touch it. Say the important thing 3 times. The size of the cloth. You don't use scissors for any trimming. Next we put our interlining. What about the hole on our side? Sew it first. What about sewing? We only sew a thread with a single needle and thread. What if you don't need it? And no need. What about words like it just belongs, every hole is sewn? We're only temporary. Put our cloth, fix it with our leather material. Then sew other materials. So what if we measure the line? Just measure twice the length of our side line. Measure the length of the hole we want to sew. From here, put the hole back here. Then here. On this side is the whole circle of the bag. And then we take twice the line. Then take scissors to disconnect the wire. What if we thread the needle next? Just use one needle to trace. Thread the needle with the tip of the needle against the elongated thread in the middle. Pull the lock needle with the short thread. The front and back of this inner lining, and I'll show you just by paying a little attention. The zipper must be outside. Because if you sew it in, this zipper just can't hold anything. Everyone knows this zipper. And what about this pocket? It's the one on the outside. And what happens next? We start the needle. Use a needle to walk the needle and thread. I am from the 3rd hole. Let's start with the 2nd hole. The corners are aligned. The left and right edges are aligned. Come on, let's start the needle. Needle from the 2nd hole, then we go back 1 stitch. The line will be longer at first. Don't let the thread tie. Well, I'm starting from the 2nd hole here, then take a shot back. How about this? It will lock my thread. Don't pull it hard on the thread won't run. So we're going to follow this hole. We're going ahead, needle and wire. Maybe because the cloth is blocked, this hole is not very clear, so we need to put our lining cloth. Pull it a little, take a look at this hole. All the needle and thread we have here. It only takes 1 trip to route a single needle, because we just put our leather material, fix it with the lining cloth. So it's just 1 trip. Don't worry about this empty hole, because we have to sew other materials later. Okay, let's move forward like this. Keep sewing and sew all 4 sides, okay? Immediately blessed embroidery tote bag making tutorials and okay, what about after we get here? We can move our needle and thread forward or take a needle back. Put this thread and then what? Stay with us. Inside the bag. What about after sewing like this? Where are the growing parts of our lining cloth? We're going to cut it again. It seems that the lining here is long, right? We cut it off. Don't cut in advance, because if you cut it in advance, you might wait a minute. Can't sew in the end, after we sew this whole lining. Okay, let's cut. We put our interlining. After fixing it with our bag. Next, let's sew the zipper of our bag first. When sewing zippers, what if we want to put our hemming strips sew together? We have 2 hemming strips. It's longer. What about this too? It belongs to us. First put our this. Let's sew this position on our front end first. The remaining lengths after that. Is it possible to put one of our sides? It's sewn like this. Okay, so what about the other one? That is, it is also the hemming that sewed our bag. Then what about the side? It's just two hemming strips. Let's sew the zipper of our bag first. Take out our zipper material. 12344 on the left. 1234 of these are vacated. 4 holes are vacated. What about the right? We're all the same. 1234 positions vacated. And at the same time, we're going to hemming ours. Seasoning. We're going to wrap and sew it up like this. What about measuring the line? Measure the X line of our whole length. Double and double. 3 times 4 times. 5 times take scissors to disconnect the line. We sew from the first hole. What about the first 4 holes? Let's put the hemming strip first. Sew it together with our material. Then start with the 5th hole. What if we want to zip the material? Sew it together. Let's start with the first hole. Okay, needle. 2 needles aligned. Pull the line. Thread the needle behind the second hole. Then the front needle goes through. Count 123. See these 4 holes. 1234 after the 4 holes are sewn. Next we're going to put our zipper material. Wear it like this. Put it in. Put it in ours. Inside, put it in this hemming. And then next we also sewed on the material of the zipper together. What about pinholes? Face the hole that was sewn before. What about putting it here? The material to be sewn is compared to Doha. 4 layers to sew. So everyone sew slowly. If the sewing material is thicker, let's tighten the line a little bit. Just a little tighter. But don't push too hard. Ripped our holes crooked. Okay, what about along this hole? Sew all the way to the front. Sew to the end of the hole on our left. Okay, the 4 holes on our left are also just right. After the zipper is sewn, there are 4 holes left on the left. Okay, let's finish sewing these 4 holes. After arriving here, next we go to the next hole. Between these 2 holes, we put our hemming seasoning. We can just cut it out. Okay, that's it. Next, walk the needle and thread back to stitches. End of stitch. Then take scissors to disconnect the wire. Lighter, refill the thread. Take a look here. We sewed our hemming strips. The remaining length is just sewn on this side. Okay, and then we're going to sew this position. Next, we will also put our zippers. This location, we're going to sew it up. Then we take a new material. And then what? Sew it up like this. Method of sewing is exactly the same way we sew this side. Good zipper, let's sew it on. After sewing on, what about we'll put our sliders on at the end. Okay, reinstall the zipper. What are we talking about now? What to sew? Sew our side material. What about sewing the side material? This is our side material. Next we put our ears. Sewn together with our side material. The ears go through our hardware buckle, then fold the material in half. What about after folding we sew it on top of this position? What about its location? It is an ear position for hemming our messenger bag strap. We measure the line. Measure this length. We can measure the quintuple line. E times. Double 3 times. 4 times 5 times. Take scissors to disconnect. Thread the needle tip into the middle of the wax thread. Elongate the thread. Pull the lock needle with the short thread. Go ahead, hello. Thread the needle tip into the middle of the wax thread. Elongate the thread. Pull the lock needle with the short thread. Needle to needles in parallel. Pull the line. Next, go to the second hole. The needle in the back goes through the front. The needle in the front goes through the back. Okay, keep going. The needle in the back goes through the front. The needle in the front goes through the back. What if we follow this hole? Sew a circle. Okay, when you get here, move the needle and thread forward 2 more stitches. Take scissors to disconnect. Lighter, refill the thread. Okay, so we're going to do this the same way. Sew up the ears on our side. After we sew the side circumference, here we go. We need to sew up our sides. Then what about during the sewing process? Or do you want to put the hemming strip? Then sew it together. Measure the line. We measure the length of this side circumference. Measure it, 4.5 times the line or 5 times the line is okay. I suggest you take more. Take 5 times the line. This is the whole length. Then take its x line. Here is twice. 3 times. 4 times. 5 times. Take scissors to disconnect the line. Threading needle tip facing the middle of the wax thread. Wear an elongated thread and pull the lock needle with a short thread. Thread the needle with the tip facing the middle of the wax thread. Wear an elongated thread and pull the lock needle with a short thread. What about our material? It's lead to right, Inside to inside, then sew like this. This is the inside. Then this material is also facing the inside. Then sew like this. During the sewing process, let's sew the hemming together. Here we are sewing the layers of material. Come on, pull it down. Pull the needle over. Pull the two needles together, the thread will be longer. The number of layers of seam will also be thicker. So you can just slow it down. The speed at which we walk the needle at the beginning, 1 hole and 1 hole seam. A little tighter. Tighten the line and you will be blessed soon. Embroidery tote bag making tutorials. Okay, you can walk 2 holes at once. You can also walk a hole at one time. Take a look, we're going straight ahead along this hole. And then, along this lateral dimension. Then sew a circle. Good to this triangle. The triangular position does not occupy the hole position. And then we're going to skip this from the next one. Skip this triangle, then sew through the next hole. Triangle this, it doesn't take up a hole. So after we sew this hole, take a look from the next hole and sew directly. Say the important thing 3 times, and remember that. Round the corner, we just sew 1 hole at a time. Be sure to align the holes. All our holes are punched by the mold uniformly. So the holes punched out by the mold are unified. Not 1 more hole, not 1 less hole. If you sew to the end, you find that there are holes that don't match. Be sure to check back. Where is the leaking needle? This place needs to be a little tighter because it's a corner and our material will be thicker. This material is heavier. I'll pick it up with a clip first. Just tighten up here. Okay, then continue to scroll down. What about the corner? I suggest you take it slow. 1 hole layer by layer. Seriously so. Not round the corner. What about here? The leaking needle is leaking. Because sometimes it's a pack with hemming. The needle is leaking. I can't see clearly. I can't see it. Okay, let's sew this corner. Then continue to walk the needle and thread forward. Take a look at this. So round the corner, then continue to walk to the front. Walk to the end of the hole on our left. Okay, what about here? We sewed to the end of our hole. After sewing to the end of the part that grows out of this side strip, what if we cut the edges again at this time? Don't cut in advance. Okay, so now we're going to pull the needle back a couple of times. End of stitch. Then take scissors on our side and disconnect the wire. Lighter virtual thread. The lighter is burning close to the thread. Give it a little heat, then click again. Okay, let's take a look here. Let's take a look here. This side is sewn. Ah, the holes must be aligned. Align seams one hole at a time. If the holes are not aligned, you will find it when you sew it at the end. Possibly, what about this side material and the edge material? One hole or two holes will not be aligned. Then we're going to take it apart and look back. Where is the leaking needle? We have the same number of holes for all positions. They are all punched by the mold, neither more nor less, so this place is big. Pay attention when sewing at home. We're going to do the same thing. Sew us up here. And then what? It's the same when you sew. What about our side strips? Sew it on. Because left and right are symmetrical. So what? It has the same stitching on the left and right. Ah, if you pulled ahead, let me tell you how to install a slider. What about our zipper material first? Here it is. And then what? Flush and then find the slider next. This is narrow, this is wide. Find the wide side here. On the wide side it has two tunnels like how. Then we put the material on this side in. Then put the zipper material on the right in as well. After wearing it, the left and right are also in a flush position. Then next pull our puller down. Pull down. In this way, our whole slider is installed. What about after it is installed? Let's reload the hardware on our slider. This small screw is also very important. And then what? Don't lose it. What about our material next? Fold the zipper head in half. Put our hardware on. Then put our little screw on the reverse side. We screw it on. The small screw should be vertical. Screw down at a vertical angle. If it is screwed diagonally, it may not be screwed on. Then we're going to press hard. And then what? This screwdriver, stuck in the screw. Then you can tighten it. Easy to slide, easy to slide. I want you to pay attention. Okay, so it's stuck. So what we're going to do is we're going to screw the other end on. Take a look at the zipper after our whole bag is ready.